The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video.
Come on, boys, get loud. 'Cause when the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, my scene. You know what I mean. It's my scene, you know what
So, before YouTube became what it is now, basically when I say that, I'm talking about people that were making content that is worth paying for. Because back in the day, it was not worth paying for YouTube. I'm just gonna be real serious right now. But so much of what was on this site was just people doing whatever, okay? Like, you had people just posting videos of the twerk contest that would be going on at the club. Yes, that was a thing. Illegally uploading music videos, posting concert footage, and those terrible total drama fan fictions that were just all bad, but you couldn't help but get invested in the story. No, like, y'all, that's another topic for another time, but there was this total drama high school AU series that was like on YouTube, and it was just straight awful. Like, it was ghetto, but I was tuning in every single week just to watch it. If you have any idea what I'm talking about, comment down below, because I want to know how many people watched it. But so much of what was on YouTube in the past was just terrible because online media isn't what it is now, meaning that more people take online media seriously. Meaning that they have figured out that they were able to work technology on their own. Meaning that they were able to start making money from online media. But the only kinds of YouTube videos in the past that I personally don't think weren't bad, in my opinion, is the AMV. But for my youngins that are watching this, you may know this as an edit. So what exactly is an AMV? By the way, y'all know how words change over time. AMV and edit are the same thing. But for the sake of this video, we will simply just be calling it its original word, that being an AMV. I understand why the word AMV has changed over the years, simply because not every AMV is anime. AMV doesn't simply have to be anime, because there are numerous AMVs out here for live action series, you know, Western cartoons. A lot of us were introduced to AMVs through Western cartoons. Alright? But because of that, because of the word anime being in the title, that's why a lot of people call it an edit. But basically, if you call something an AMV that's not anime, you're still correct, because the word was just always used for everything. Okay, I know we all have our opinions about Wikipedia, which is very much reasonable because, you know, people be lying their ass off on this website. But I feel as if Wikipedia is okay to use if the sources can be backed up. And here the sources are backed up. Alright, let's go ahead and begin. An animated music video, AMV, is a fan-made music video consisting of clips of one or more Japanese animated shows or movies set to an audio track, often songs or promotional trailer audio. The term is generally specific to Japanese anime. However, it can occasionally include footage from other mediums such as American animation, live action, or video games. AMVs are not official music videos released to the musicians. They are fan compositions with synchronized edit videos with an audio track. AMVs are most commonly posted and distributed all over the internet through animemusicvideos.org, video downloads, and YouTube. Anime conventions frequently won AMV contests, who usually show the finalist winners' AMVs. AMV should not be confused with music videos that employ original, professionally made animation, such as numerous music videos for songs by Daft Punk, or such short music videos such as Japanese duo Chang and Asa's song On Your Mark that was produced by the film company Studio Ghibli. AMV should not be confused with fan-made general animation videos using non-Japanese animated video sources like Western animation, or the practice of fitting in Western media fandom, which evolved convergently in distant history and fan culture. Parallels can be drawn between AMVs and song videos, animated fan music videos using footage from movies, television series, and other sources. The first anime music video created in 1982 was by a 21-year-old Jim Kapostas. Jim Kapostas hooked up 2 video cassette recordings to each other and edited the most violent scenes from Star Blazers' All You Need Is Love by the Beatles to produce a humorous effect. And y'all know our good friends over there at the TV Tropes. They always can help us out. Here, instead of the page being called AMV, it's called a fan video. That's basically what an AMV is. But in a nutshell, a basic concept is to take recorded footage from your favorite movie or TV shows, set it all to these edited scenes of your favorite music, maybe some fan art or subtitling, put it all together in Digital Movie Maker on your PC, then upload it to any video streaming site online and wait for some awesome comments to pour in. YouTube is a popular choice. It is not the most productive activity in the world, but one of the most dedicated. It is one of the most time consuming, like fanfics and fan art. Making and watching these videos is another way these friends express their consuming obsession over their favorite show. Now, on the subject of AMV, there is a difference between an AMV and a music video that is animated. Because one has a production team behind it with somebody making original content for the song. And you know, there's a difference between a fan music video and then an actual, you know, official animated music video. For a fan music video, when people used to make their own videos towards Hamilton songs and Six the Musical and Heathers, those are what you would call fan animated music videos. That it's not an AMV, it's not clips put together. But then when we're talking about AMV, we're just talking about a piece of media that is already created being clipped together using CapCut or Video Star or whatever the fuck y'all want to use to make edits nowadays. I can't keep up with all this stuff. Once I figured out how to make AMVs through my actual editing software I do with YouTube, that is all I needed. You can really do the same shit with a lot of this stuff. Y'all over here paying for stuff? No. Like, I paid for my editing software, but anyway. But an example of a music video that is animated, official music video that is animated, is Do I Want to Know by the Arctic Monkeys. Still slaps so hard. But then another one that incorporates animation within their video mixed with live action would have to be Strobe Light from Gorillaz. Which I love. I love this music video so much. This video is so cute because it blends not only just live action and animated put together, and also Noodle was getting down. Noodle was getting down in that music video. You couldn't tell her nothing. I'm a Noodle stan over here. Y'all know about the Noodle poster that is in my room. That is homegirl right there. And for my black people, we all know about that one music video. Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. If you know what read a book is, comment down below, read a book. I want to know how many of y'all are with the culture. But I find it funny when we talk about the most well-known AMVs back in the day is that a lot of us don't tend to watch the same stuff, but we all remember the same songs. But it is one particular AMV that I know everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people are familiar with, and that is the Sexy Naughty Bitchy Disney AMV. That is still on YouTube that you can view to this day. And the funny thing about this AMV right here is that because of, like, you know, the popularity of this AMV, this is what led to so many people in different fandoms to make AMVs simply with this song. But that song right there is just something that every fandom wanted to use. It was really big with actual animes like Tokyo Mew Mew and Sailor Moon. Usually when it came to material that featured a lot of women and girls in it, this was the song that was often used. And it's funny because the Sexy Naughty Bitchy AMVs is how a lot of people like myself discovered that song. Yeah, I'm not even joking. I don't know not one person that does not know the Sexy Naughty Bitchy song through something else. We all discovered that song through an AMV. But on top of that, AMVs literally have introduced people to new music and artists, and that gives the artists more exposure and fans because a lot of people had no idea who Tata Young was until the song came out. She basically was not an American artist, and her work was not very well known in America, but that song where everybody basically just memed the fuck out of it basically ended up getting her an audience in America and just the Western Hemisphere in general, because I actually did sit and listen to a lot of her other music and it's pretty good. And she also did a cover of the Cheetah Girls song Cinderella, which actually wasn't the Cheetah Girls song because a group named Play did it, but then next thing you know, Play weren't the first people that did it. It was actually a group called Dream, I think. Anyway. But this is nothing new. This has always been a thing with AMVs introducing people to new music and new artists. It has people listen to the song and it makes the listens and sounds go up on Spotify and Apple Music, and then people go and follow the artist on Instagram and Twitter or wherever they at. Like, I'm gonna be real, nobody was checking for Chicago by Michael Jackson. What is so weird, because I used to listen to that album all the time and nobody gave a fuck about that album in general, especially that song. But Chicago by Michael Jackson, literally nobody was checking for it until somebody made an AMV for it on TikTok, and now everybody's obsessed with it. Mainly because people were making edits with the songs. And an artist that many of you guys know through AMVs, including myself, would have to be Flo Milli. Fun fact, I found Flo Milli through a Descendants edit. Yes, that is how I discovered her. It was the Be Flo Mix song, and I've been a fan since. We stand Flo Milli over here on Deep Pirate Ship. It's funny because one of my internet friends made that video. The most popular forms of music, I'd say, for AMVs before, you know, I'd say 2014, they were either rock music or pop music or anything that is just a divergent from that. So, you know, hip hop music was there and it was present, but oftentimes it was either by, you know, the white rapper that everybody knows, Mr. Marshall Mathers himself, the real Slim Shady, Eminem Candy. It was most likely always Eminem songs, or it was Aaron Carter. Rest in peace, Aaron Carter. No, y'all, I'm not even joking. I was devastated the day Aaron Carter passed. I was hurt, distraught. Anyway, moment of silence for Aaron. Let's continue. But back in the day, the AMV community was very much anti-black, but in a different way, because it's still anti-black. We gonna get there. But the AMVs back in the day were how many other black people like myself ended up discovering artists like Green Day and Linkin Park and Paramore. And I say this specifically with people that grew up in predominantly black areas, because when nobody at school checking for this, like in elementary school, our teachers never played this kind of music. It was never played at our school dances or anything like that. I discovered rock music through animated music videos. And it's also how a lot of people ended up discovering songs such as Every Time We Touch by Cascada. AMVs is how I became a fan of Cascada in the first place. And also Barbie Girl by Aqua. And y'all know, what's that other one? Boom Boom, I Want You in My Room. A lot of music back then is just like, yeah, I would not have discovered this if I just wasn't on YouTube looking at whatever the fuck popped up on my screen. And I'm not saying that AMVs didn't have songs by black artists in them, because they sure did. Because I noticed the one most popular song that was by a black artist that everyone made an AMV for, simply because it really was just a trend at the time, was Soulja Boy. You know, the song Crank That Soulja Boy. If you don't know what Crank That is, that was a cultural reset. I remember that shit came out in the summertime. We learned how to do the Crank That. That shit was everything. But that is like the most popular song back in the day that people used for AMVs that was by a black artist. And we really didn't see much of that afterwards when it came to black artists being used for AMVs at this time period. But the thing about it is that that was just like a trend. That was like one of the first big viral videos on YouTube that kind of put YouTube on the mark. So that's why that one was there, simply because anytime people were making videos and posting videos of them doing the Soulja Boy dance, it got views, it got attention, and fandom caught on to that, and that's why they would post videos of their favorite characters trying to do the Soulja Boy. It was actually funny. And then also Caramel Dancing. Y'all know the Caramel Dancing? That was another very popular AMV, and it's also another song I would not know of if it weren't for AMVs, where people were just drawing cute fan art of their favorite characters doing that dance. So wholesome. Not all the shit that was on YouTube back in the day was wholesome, but that was one thing that was. But you know, when black people simply want to be included in things, they start to make their own things. Like, black people started to make AMVs with their kinds of music, meaning R&B and, you know, hip-hop music actually by black artists. And not just using stuff by Eminem. And it was this one song, his name was like White Dog or something. Y'all know what I'm talking about, but it was this one artist. People used to stay using his music for AMVs. But it was either him, Eminem, or Aaron Carter. A lot of times you actually had to really be searching if you wanted to find AMVs with black songs. And it's sad because the main reason why you had to go out and search for it by yourself is because these were the videos that weren't getting the most views. And not saying that YouTube really had an algorithm back then in the past, because I feel like there's always been one there, but because a lot of these videos weren't the ones that people weren't checking for, because, you know, this is the music that they were not listening to, they weren't getting pushed out. Nobody was watching this stuff, you know, other than the people that were creating it for themselves. But it just simply takes me out how those AMVs back in the day were the ones with the least amount of views, but that's literally what gets all the views now. And we're gonna get there. But compared to the videos that use like the same 10 songs over and over again by white people, and that one song by Tata Young over and over and over again, because Tata Young is not white, by the way, she's Asian. For the longest, AMVs were seen to be as uncool, and they still kinda are to a certain extent. Like, outside of the nerd community, there's a lot of shit that is just seen as lame, because cosplay is still seen as very much childish. A lot of people don't, like, I'm telling you, you go to convention and you think you're surrounded by a lot of great like-minded people, which you are, but then when you would look across the street, there'll be people over here looking at y'all like y'all are some hoodlums. Like, come over and join the fun too. But basically, a lot of stuff that's just associated with fandom and nerd culture in general is still seen as very much uncool, but it seems a lot more cooler now because more people have joined in on it. But another reason why AMVs, you know, are starting to become more cool is because AMVs were starting to be made with real life celebrities and public figures. Basically, when you're making an AMV of a real person, it's called a fan cam instead. I have had a few of these made from me, from my supporters. I love y'all so much. Y'all are so sweet. Harry loves her a good AMV of herself. But basically, as we know, with the way TikTok and Instagram is, they tend to make a lot of things that are seen as nerdy and uncool to be cool, because a lot of people get big followings that are a part of these communities, because there are thousands of accounts out here with a whole bunch of followers that simply just post edits and AMVs. But like back in the day, black people made AMVs simply because they wanted to have some AMVs with the kind of music that they listen to, meaning music by black artists. But then here comes the switch up. It's a switch up because so many of the AMVs now that get the most attention are, you know, music that is created by black artists, which has led us into another issue, the other side of anti-blackness. Because why the hell am I seeing cat noir AMVs that got the word nigga in them? And what kills me the most about a lot of these AMVs for cat noir that have the word nigga in them is that if you actually go and listen to the song, the dude don't even be saying nigga that much. Y'all just strictly pick that one part of the song where he say nigga, 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 and you just edit it with not just cat noir, but y'all have a big problem with doing this with a lot of non-black people in general. And then also, a lot of y'all that are making these videos are not black. So AMVs after 2014, there was a big shift in the kind of music and the ones that we saw that were very much popular. AMVs that used a lot of black music were the ones that started to get the most attention, which has led to this influence of it has just led to this influx of edits of non-black characters with black music in the background, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because while I do think it's important for non-black people to be engaging in black art, because black art slaps, I understand, I get it, but let me tell you, I remember back in the day, meaning before the year that was 2014, meaning the late 2000s and the early 2010s, nobody wanted to be black. Mainly because this was the era of people calling black women roaches and getting away with it and justifying their preference for not wanting to date black women. And this was also the era where a lot of people were saying hip-hop music was awful and the only hip-hop music that they accepted was Eminem. People used to be saying with a full-on chest on YouTube that the only hip-hop music they like is by Eminem and the rest is terrible. I'm just like, do y'all not realize how anti-black that sounds? But anyway, okay? And then also during this era, black men and a lot of black women, if it don't apply, let it fly, okay? But they were agreeing to do the stupidest, the most racially insensitive shit for their white friends to get views on the internet. Y'all know exactly who I'm thinking about. Y'all know I'm thinking about her. You know I'm thinking about her. And there's another YouTuber too that I used to watch all the time that used to do some bullshit like that, okay? And then also like a bunch of like, at this time period, this was before like the natural hair movement and people started to embrace, you know, black hairstyles and, you know, curly hair, wearing locks and all that. A bunch of like, at this time period, black women were just straightening their hair all the time. And then also a lot of y'all non-black faves was over here spitting the N-word a lot. It's funny how I'd say I hate that this is actually the time period where I started to notice that this happened, but we really didn't start to see an increase for the love of blackness until I'd say the death of Trayvon Martin. That is when I started to notice that there was this shift in the way people talked about black people and black culture on the internet, simply because that is when the Black Lives Matter movement took off and people started to use platforms such as Instagram and Twitter and Tumblr to educate people. And then also this was during the creation of Black Girl Magic. I think it's important that people need to know the name of the person who coined the term Black Girl Magic. Her name is Kashawn Thomas, and I'm going to sit here and read to you guys a piece that she has up on her website, and I will also have the website link down below for you guys to check out. Kashawn is also a black cultural pioneer, creating the concept of black girls are magic, which sprung from her life as a little girl growing up with her mother, grandmothers, and aunts. Black Girls Are Magic became widely popular in 2013 after Kashawn began using the phrase online, which later shortened to the hashtag #BlackGirlMagic to uplift and praise the accomplishments, beauty, and other amazing qualities of black women. Kashawn believes that the phenomenal power and skill that all black women and girls possess. She knows that black women are the original influencers of culture around the world. Black women and girls make everything or make everything better. Black girls and their magic deserve to be revered, celebrated, elauded, and protected. This is the message that Kashawn wants to spread as an advocate through her blogging, speaking, as well as social media engagement, creating space for other women just like her. And then also with the blackout, and this is not to be confused with Blackout Day. That day y'all asses just posted that black screen and didn't actually do shit to help the movement. But the blackout. The blackout was basically a movement that started on Tumblr to express that black people were indeed beautiful. Like basically black people were just sick and tired of being told that their culture was ugly and that they were just tired of being K-worded in the street for doing nothing. I will insert a clip here of what the movement was about, and then I'll also have the video linked down below for you guys to go and watch it. But y'all, the blackout movement was so big that the official people behind Tumblr were like, you know, backing it. Tumblr back in the day, y'all, like I'm just like...
But we also know that a lot of the conversations about blackness, especially within the context of like American blackness, is negative. So the actual action, the CTA of Blackout, is to post a selfie, #Blackout Day, flood your dash with like pictures, black art, black music, and to just support each other, reblog, meet people. We really wanted people to connect. Our first Blackout was March 6th, 2015. We're on the tail end of Black History Month, and it's like Black History Month can't be like the only one month a year we celebrate black people. So why not just have a selfie day and have it be fun? It'd be like a family reunion. And it went viral, and it jumped from Tumblr to Twitter to Instagram and like just all over the internet.
Now, I know you're probably sitting here asking, Harry, what the hell this got to do with AMVs? Hold on. So we have this resurgence of black people, you know, falling in love with themselves again and loving the skin that they're in and embracing their natural hair and not being ashamed of their dark skin and all of that. And this right here, this love for black people being more open about how they love themselves, it continued to non-black people unlearning a lot of their anti-black ways and becoming allies towards the black community. which is a good thing. But you know, a lot of times when we get a good thing, there's always a con that come along with it. But this right here, you know, black people being more open about them loving themselves and their culture or whatnot, it has led to so much of the shit that we are dealing now. And it is an issue that I have always seen within the world of, you know, non-black people taking black culture for their advantage. But it's much worse now. And I'm starting to think that it was always this bad. But because of the way the internet it is now, it seems like it's a lot worse because we're finally seeing this shit with our own eyes. Because of this resurgence of, you know, black culture finally being appreciated and seen as beautiful, it has led to non-black people not caring about black people themselves and their rights, but their culture. Like the way they wear their hair, nails. I remember when y'all asses used to say that you thought long acrylic nails was ghetto and ugly. I didn't forget, and I kid you not, back in the day when I was younger, the only kind of women that I saw that had super duper long acrylic nails, I can't have my nails long anymore, like fake and all that because of the eczema that's on my hands. I do miss my long nails though, I'm not gonna lie. But the only kind of women I saw back in the day that had no, you know, them long nails, the acrylics, the fake press-ons and all of that were women of color. I saw a lot of Latina women with nails like this. I saw a lot of Asian women with nails like this, but I especially saw so many black women that have the long acrylic nails. A lot of my teachers used to stay having their nails done, okay? And while I was around a lot of white adults in my childhood, simply because these were like, you know, the people that I see when I would go out with my parents or the people that worked in the schools and whatnot, they did not have their nails done. They did not have their nails done. And I remember when you would simply go on Google and you would look up long acrylic nail designs and whatnot, and the types of people that uploaded acrylic nail designs on YouTube, a lot of these people were women of color. Like there were a few white women here and there, but it is nothing like how it is now with how many white women wear long acrylic nails like that. A lot of that was just women of color. But I remember another thing that has just kind of been adopted by a lot of non-black people in this day and age is the long lashes, especially the slang that black people use just as well, AMV. And you guessed it, back in the day, y'all was not checking for music by black artists. Y'all weren't. Y'all was not liking the music. Y'all was not liking the girls. Well, yes, it is very much important for white people to be engaging with black art. But also the anti-blackness that comes along with that is very much present. Like, baby, how you talk like that but you don't got no black friends, Brooklyn? How all the music you listen to is hip-hop music by black artists, but you have nothing of value to say when it comes to the representation of black people in our media, Chad? How you want extra long acrylic nails, but you're always fixing your mouth to say something slick about black women, Bridget? And why is it that almost every single last song that you choose to make an AMV for uses heavy slang and has the N-word in it? And like I said, what kills me the most about it is that y'all using the songs that have the N-word in it is because if you actually go and listen to the song, you would see that that word is not that much present in it. You just simply skipped it to that part. I'm telling y'all, if I see another edit of Cat Noir and the word nigga pop up on the screen, I'm gonna scream. But then, like I said, when we have these kind of edits with, like, you know, black songs that use heavy slang and heavy use of the N-word, they almost always are used for characters that are not black. And then I figured out the answer to this. Y'all like blackness when you're able to remove actual black people from it. More specifically, y'all like blackness but don't want to respect black people. Y'all like blackness when it is a trend and it is beneficial towards you. Like, let me go ahead and drag Sam Levinson for like the 30th time on this channel because that man, him, and Thomas Astruck, and it's another one, Kenya Barris, the three of them are my enemies. But there's so many issues with Sam Levinson as a creator in general, but one of the major issues is with his most successful project to date, that being Euphoria. And y'all want to know what is one of the things that made Euphoria such a pop culture phenomenon? Because of the use of black culture within the series. Black Femininity TV has an amazing video about this entire subject, and I will link her video down below. Highly recommend. Literally, Black Feminine TV, that is one of the best YouTube channels ever. I love her. But because of this, you look at Euphoria a little sidewise, because what made this series so popular is the Black influence that it has on it. But the cast and crew for this series, it's giving very much not Black, okay? Not new. It's like this show is full of so much Black culture, but then when you actually watch it, you're just like, where the Black people at? They barely there. But so much of the music that is used in Euphoria, it is, you know, hip hop and R&B music that is by Black artists. And then they barely have any Black people present within the scenes. Because I remember it was this one scene that was just kind of off-putting, where it was Kat and Lexi. Like, they were just together doing homework. And the next thing you know, Juicy by Doja Cat was playing in the background. And I was just like, this feels so out of context. Like, no. And then also, it was a very much off-putting how, you know, I love Oops Oh My by Tweet. I love that entire album. It's called Southern Hummingbird. You guys should really check it out, okay? Southern Hummingbird by Tweet. But in the scene where the cheerleaders were performing, they were performing to Oops Oh My, and it was barely any Black girls within that crowd. There were, nope, not many. It was probably like 2 of them. And while this use of Black music within the AMVs, but specifically Black music that is, you know, very well into hip hop, uses a lot of slang, uses the N-word a lot of these videos are made by non-Black and just white creators too, because this isn't just the issue with white people. A lot of non-Black people tend to do this just as well. It's starting to mirror digital blackface of just a bit. It's not exactly digital blackface, I'd say, but the similarities are a bit there. You know what? No, it is a bit of digital blackface, because when I go through and look at a lot of these aesthetic accounts, it's not no proof over there that the person behind, as I was saying, it is a little bit like digital blackface to be exact, because when I go through and look through a lot of these aesthetic accounts, there is no kind of proof there whatsoever that the person that is making this stuff is Black. And then I go through and scroll, and that's so much of the stuff that they are using as aesthetic or whatnot, and it's cute, is a use of Black culture. Because one thing I have noticed that a lot of non-Black fandom people have done and need to be fucking checked on was when it was that entire era of when people were editing the big glossy lips and the long acrylic nails and the braids and the locks and, like, you know, the colored wigs onto white people, and y'all still have this big problem. Please cut that out. That shit is digital blackface. It's disgusting. It's not funny. Stop it. Hey, it's Harry live from the editing room. As I am on the subject of them, like, ugly ass edits that y'all was over here making, where y'all was like putting, like, you know, the long acrylic nails and the big lips and the fake, like, you know, hair and all that. That reminded me that Amphibia, you know, an actual television show broadcasted on fucking TV. Like, you know, there was a team, there was money put behind this. There was an episode where they went to the damn mall, and there is like a giant statue of something like that, like the meme and whatnot, and this shit just pissed me off that I randomly remembered it. And people were saying that we were overreacting, and we were like, no, that literally is fucking minstrelsy. And the fact that they thought it was okay to put that in a TV show, and people were like, but that's not an issue because it was just in the background, it wasn't a main thing. No, it shouldn't have been there at all. And it's just sad, and it just goes to show you that this is just so much of our culture now, where people think that it's okay to do these things, because society has always been making fun of Black people. As you know, back in the day with the minstrelsy shows and all of that shit, like, it's always been a thing where just non-Black people are here just, like, you know, finding ways to pick on and pick at Black people. And they even did that in the show, because there ain't no Black people in Amphibia. There's only like a few people, but you know, they are not the focus. And like a lot of shows that don't feature a lot of non-Black, like that feature a lot of non-Black people, they tend to do things like this and get away with it. There was no fucking reason why you thought it was okay to put that in there. And I'm sorry if I'm coming off as a bit harsh, but those people should have known better. I'm telling you, people are getting more sneaky and more creative with ways that they can pick on Black people. And I remember one of my good mutuals had brought it up, and she was just talking about how if you ever pay attention and you look at history, it's just non-Black people picking on Black people for no fucking reason. And it's just like the most hurtful from Amphibia is because, you know, Amphibia is a show about, you know, Asian girls and their culture and all of that, and the voice cast is Asian, the creators are Asian. One thing that pissed me off the most about this is that it was non-Black people doing this. Like, that just goes to show you that non-Blackness, like anti-Blackness, sorry, anti-Blackness is just universal and it's everywhere. Like, y'all most definitely should have known better, as y'all are not white. but they don't. Like, anyway, let's continue. But I am gonna put like a quick insert right here. You guys want to get a little bit more insight on what digital blackface is before we continue on with the video. While most, though conspicuously not all, recognize that outright blackface is wildly offensive, no matter where you are in the world, the relative anonymity of the internet makes its digital form more insidious. Coined in 2006, y'all can shut the fuck up talking about digital blackface as a new term, because it's not. It's been here since Y2K. Anyway, the term digital blackface refers to the practice of non-black folks using black emojis, reaction GIFs, and or AAVE, African American Vernacular English, to represent themselves, their emotions, or their opinions online. Non-black social media users frequently gain clout and personality by conveying their experience through these racialized lenses, benefiting from masquerading of blackness, while black users who express explicitly pro-black opinions are regularly deplatformed. The white gaze that exaggerates black emotions for entertainment does the same of twisting pro-blackness to falsely equate to anti-whiteness. Perhaps digital blackface isn't as serious as celebrities blackfishing to increase visibility and clout, but non-black people rejoice in perfectly timed clapbacks without knowing who Super Hot Fire is and express their disappointment through Tyra Banks' Eerie every day. It bears noting that black entertainers are overwhelmingly managed by white agents and directors by white directors, and these images of blackness are often so mean. There is a digital black avatar for every emotion across the spectrum of the human experience, and due to the relative anonymity of the internet, non-black social media users can use GIFs to try to exaggerate versions of blackness that they perceive as more dramatic version of humanity. But moving on from digital blackface, it's interesting seeing what AMVs have turned into over the last decade. And I say it's funny because there is something that never dies out and are still relevant when it comes to fandom culture today. And that is anti-blackness. Anti-blackness really is everywhere. And what makes it the most laughable is that anti-blackness has always been present within fandom, but it is shown in different ways. That's one thing a lot of people don't seem to understand when it comes to like the subject of just racism and anti-blackness and anti-Asian sentiment and all of these, you know, isms and whatnot, is that it's not just one thing. Like numerous factors contribute to something being wrong. Because in the past, the anti-blackness with AMVs was not much black music that was being made with these videos, and then the AMVs that did feature a lot of black music weren't all that popular, and the characters within series that got the least amount of AMVs were the black characters. I will go ahead and say this to you now. Cyborg from Teen Titans, out of all 4 Teen Titans, had the least amount of AMVs out of the main 5. And then another thing that took me out the most about it, I'm telling y'all, the Teen Titans fan will be racist as hell, but Keanu Kitten Moth was probably only in the show for probably 3 episodes, and only one of the episodes is where she was heavily featured. Why did she have way more AMVs than Bumblebee? And Bumblebee was very much more present within the series than Kitten Mouth was. Like, Kitten was a fun character. I love seeing a villain that you just enjoy loving to hate. But she had way much fan content than Bumblebee did, which made no sense because Bumblebee had way more screen time and did way more within the series. But now the way the anti-blackness with AMVs has shifted is because now black music is very much present, but non-black AMV creators, the black culture is constantly being used because, like I said, it don't even just be the music that's being used. It be the little words and phrases that they throw in and out. They throw in those little memes and whatever the fuck of black people just acting the damn fool or whatever. Like, black culture is constantly being used within these AMVs, and that is because these are the kinds of videos that get the most attention, the most views, the most followers, like the most everything, because it even comes down to, like I said, going back to digital blackface, the kinds of memes that, you know, are the ones that go more viral are usually the ones of black people acting a damn fool. Like, yeah, there's numerous videos out here of white people acting up, but like mainly it's just black people that was cutting up. Like, it's funny because when a black person goes viral for a meme, a lot of people do not be knowing the person's name, but when a white person go viral, they got a record deal and everybody know who the fuck they are. Like, do not support that Brit Barbie girl, bye. But like, another good example about this would be Danielle Bergoli, Miss Bad Baby, you know, Cash Me Outside, her. That is a good example of that. But a lot of people cannot even tell you the name of the two black girls that was in that video that was like, if you can't go to Bella Noche's, where the hell can you go? Which I love that video. I adore them. Hope they're both doing well. But a lot of people can't even tell you what their name is. Like, y'all just see black people as like giggles and jokes and right there using that for attention, but you still be out here using them for memes and such, but you wouldn't even care to like give them a follow or support or anything like that. And I noticed that there's a big issue with this when it comes to Nene Leakes. I love me some Nene Leakes, okay? Let me love her, okay? But one funny thing that I have noticed is that a lot of white people love to use Nene Leakes for memes, and a lot of them don't know nothing about her. A lot of people don't even know that that's Nene Leakes. They just know her face and they just keep posting her everywhere. And I'm just like, we are just in this era where basically people on the internet use blackness to their advantage, but don't actually care about black people. And what takes me out the most about this is that we have so many more black cartoon characters and just live action black characters in general than we did in the late 2000s and the early 2010s. And you mean to tell me that you cannot make an AMV with a black song, specifically the ones that heavily use the word nigga in them, with a black character? Like, come on. Come on, come on. Like I said, y'all like blackness when you're able to remove the black people from it. Like, why y'all think so many hip-hop artists can't stand when white people come to their concerts? Because they just be up in there acting like they run the place and that they own the music. And no. And while it's not necessarily an issue to a certain extent with black music being used for non-black characters for edits created by non-black creators, but did you have to pick a song that heavily featured the N-word in it? I swear, y'all are doing that as a way to be able to say the N-word. Like, I'm not even joking. You know you can't say it, but you think that if you put it in an edit, you'll get away with it. Y'all not slick. We know what you're doing. It reminds me a bit of Quentin Tarantino, how he simply, I'm not even joking, I simply think that man be hiring black actors within his films simply because he wants to be able to have the N-word in there. Because I kid you not, there is too much usage of the N-word in Quentin Tarantino's films for him to be a white creator. I'm sorry. It's just there too much. I love Death Proof Down by Quentin Tarantino. It's one of my favorite movies, alright? But it made no sense how Kim done said the N-word so many times in that film. Like, what, Quentin, like, I remember somebody else had even pointed that out, talking about it makes no sense for this white man to be having the N-word in his work so much. It's just very much off-putting. But moving on, it's been proven time and time again that blackness is able to sell without actual black people being there. Like, why do y'all think the Kardashians are so popular? But most importantly, moving back to the way AMVs were in the past, why do you think Eminem's music was so popular with these videos? That's all I gotta say. I hope I was able to help you guys ponder a bit about this subject. This is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but I finally was able to put the words together for it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Okay, I realized that I did not do my intro for this video simply because I was just, I don't know, I was just on a roll and I forgot to put it in my, you know, outline that I have in front of me. I did not put it there, but I was happy that I was able to get this done. I'm very satisfied with the way it has turned out. But now back to the editing room where we put everything together so you guys will finally get the footage, and yay. Patreon is very important. Please support if you can, but I also have Buy Me a Coffee and I have Ko-fi. Follow me on Instagram. The best way to support me for free, follow my main Instagram, which is just at Harriyanna, and then also follow my business Instagram at harriyannahook. All my socials will be linked down below. My website is down below, harriyannahook.com. Make sure you have on the lookout because not only do I post my blog posts and stuff over there, but Black Friday is coming up and I have a lot of cute things coming. Y'all see this Olia do-rag that I'm wearing? It's coming. It's coming this Black Friday, and I can't wait for you all to see it, okay? But last but not least, just support everything that I have. I have a web series, all of that good stuff. I have another web series coming soon. Shh. Shh. But thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good night.
'Cause I work hard to get to this point in my life. I'm blowing up, so don't hate, just congratulate.
The Powerpuff Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their ruts. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bad times. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they're shocking. You know no one can stop them all because